How can I get my kids to answer more than just good or fine when I ask them about their school day? I think this is an important thing to wrestle with as a parent. If you drop your kids off at school, you want to have a good discussion and be informed about what they're learning. So what kinds of questions can we ask instead? I'd like to give you a few options today. There are plenty more, I'm sure, but these are some that I have used when the kids pile in the car and I don't want to hear the word good or fine or great or whatever. I want a little bit more, and I want to be able to help them think through their day. So the first question would be, was there anything you learned at school that the Bible would disagree with? That's a really great question to ask. Sometimes there's nothing, often there's nothing, but it's very interesting what your kids may say or question, does the Bible say this? Or my teacher said that, or a book said this, or a student or friend or whatever. That's a great question to ask. Another potential question with your kids in the car is, did you learn anything that was confusing or just didn't sound right? Or did you see something, learn something that mom and dad have taught you differently? Now, this is basically where they rat out their friends, but that's good too. We want to know what their friends do, what kind of decisions they're making, what situations they were put in, and how those friends handled it. Sometimes they tattle on their teachers too, but that's a great question to ask and interact with what happens with their friends and how people handle situations. Okay, a third question is, did you do anything wrong? Or did you get in trouble? Or did you do anything great and get recognized? It's just good to hear sometimes, the teacher told me to stop talking, or I got my name on the board, and they might have forgotten that. Then we can interact with the decisions that they've made, the choices that they've made. A fourth question is, what was something surprising that happened at school today? Is there something that surprised you? And sometimes there's just this facts, I didn't know about this. And then you can bring in the biblical, discussion over creation or how God made the animals or whatever it might be. Okay, a fifth question was, what was the best part of your day? What was the highlight? Or you could always also ask what the worst part is. Basically, we want to get creative with how we ask our children about their time at school. We want to hear the content they learn, and we want to be able to refute it or support it or interact with it based on what the Bible says. We want to hear the choices that they made, our own kids, what kind of choices they made, if they were good or bad, or arguments they've had with friends and all of that. We also want to know what other authorities are teaching them. We want to know what their friends are teaching them by their example, by their choices and situations. And so by coming up with some questions that we just get in the habit of asking, and we can rotate them around, then this helps us to speak biblically to our children, to help them form their worldview, and for us to be informed and know how to best help them going forward. So I hope your questions are better this week as you think through how to talk to your kids after school.